What is going on, everyone? Berial here, and I'm bringing you some news out of Street Fighter V today, straight from the PlayStation Experience in San Francisco. Huge update. Not only did we get the last character in the main roster, being Fang, or Fong as the announcer pronounces it, he looks like he's straight out of a 70s kung fu movie. He definitely looks like a really cheesy villain, but we're going to save him for another video. What I'm going to be focusing on is the fact that Capcom has confirmed the 6 DLC fighters that are going to be launching in the Street Fighter V 2016 Season Pass, which is now available on the PlayStation Network. So, 3 of them I am super stoked for. The other 3, not so much. But it does turn out that the characters that people speculated were going to be leaked did turn out to be true. We have Alex, Guile, Balrog, Ibuki, Juri, and Urien. So, I am a huge fan of Third Strike. I loved the Alpha series, and of course, I've been playing all the versions of Street Fighter 4. But I'm going to go from left to right, starting with Alex. I cannot wait to see what this guy's going to look like this time around. I've always liked the way Alex looked from a sprite standpoint in Street Fighter Third Strike, and this time around, at least with Zangief, Alex is going to fill another role that we're going to need since there is no Hakan or Abel, like your other grapplers. I'm really looking forward to seeing what Alex's close quarter combat setup is going to be like. I definitely like people that can get in, do some throws, do some damage. So I'm super, super happy that he's back. Then on to the next fighter is my main, Mr. Guile, Mr. America himself. I've always had to put up with people saying that Guile has too many tools, but honestly, after he was getting a little bit nerfed in Ultra by dropping his health, I fell in love with Guile the minute I picked him up in Super Street Fighter 4, I believe. Up until him, I was playing as Bison, and that's how I learned how to become a charge player. But I did switch between Ken and Ryu beforehand, and once I found out how easily I could charge with Guile by using my quick charges on my fight stick, like the little flicks for your motion rather than using them on a gamepad or a controller, he instantly became the guy I wanted to play with. I'm super happy that he's back. It's kind of funny because if he wasn't included, I still would have been stoked because of Nash, and I haven't seen Nash in a while. None of us have, but I would have been happy with just having Nash as part of the main roster. But the fact that I get both of them is just a huge treat for me. I just love both of them to death. So very, very, very happy that he's coming back. Next up is Balrog, and I've never really cared too much about him as a character. I can respect him because he is one of the original Street Fighters. But being a charge player, I felt like I could have picked him up and would have enjoyed his playstyle. Really don't mind him too much, but I love watching him played by guys like PR Balrog, at least on the tourney scene, because he can be an entertaining character to watch. But what I want to point out is something a little interesting to me. In the Fang trailer, you can see the rock statues of all the members of Shadowloo in the background. So you can see Bison, Vega, and Balrog. But what you can't see is Sagat. Sagat is gone in place of Fang. So it's going to be interesting to see how that led to be, because technically Sagat was always the second in command when it came to the Shadowloo program and all that stuff. But I'm pretty happy that he's still part of the roster, at least from a nostalgic standpoint, but I just really don't care too much about Balrog. Same thing with Ibuki, especially being a Third Strike player. I really thought that I'd be happier with her inclusion, but I've always felt that Ibuki, at least in the Super Street Fighter 4 and beyond, was a little too much of a gimmicky character. She, had to use a whole lot of her aerial kunais, her little rush sprints. I never really enjoyed playing as her particularly, although I did respect high-level play from her, at least in terms of some of the skilled players that could use her skills to their benefit and all that type of stuff. The next one is probably the least excited I've been for some of the DLC fighters, and that's Juri. I do know that there are a couple of awesome Juri players out there, but I just never cared about her. I really thought she was a bland character, at least from a villain standpoint. Maybe I'll give her a shot if she looks a little cooler this time around. Hopefully, with all these redesigns coming around, they can give her something that makes her look a little more evil besides the whole eye. Never really cared about the feng shui engine skill that she had and all that type of stuff. So she could be fun, but I'll have to kind of test her out once I get my hands on her. And then last but certainly not least is Mr. Urien. I am pumped to play as Urien, only because he was such a badass in Third Strike. Minus the diaper design, I'd much rather him have the business suit or maybe a more updated costume in terms of a regal standpoint to kind of solidify his place as a god alongside Guile. I just didn't really like that whole minimalistic loincloth design that they had going on, but I'm really, really looking forward to seeing how we're going to be able to play as Urien this time around. I don't know if his playstyle will change up too much, but it's going to be an absolute treat to get our hands back on him, at least from my standpoint. So another interesting thing that I wanted to talk about is, since these guys are available in the Season Pass coming up, which is available now, they're obviously not going to be on the disc when Street Fighter V launches on February 16th, and that's going to be on the PS4 and the PC. So we're going to get them as they roll out over time, kind of like the Combat Pack in Mortal Kombat X, or if you guys remember, that's how they did Season 1 and Season 2 for Killer Instinct on the Xbox One. The characters would just roll out every month. So they're going to do that same structure. And what's very interesting is this was also confirmed at the PlayStation Experience. There are a multitude of ways that you can earn these characters. If you'd like, outright, you can buy the deluxe version of Street Fighter V, which comes with the Season Pass. That's going to be between $80 to $90, kind of like the Mortal Kombat Complete Edition was. But in terms of the fighters themselves, you're actually going to have a choice this time around, and this I do appreciate, at least from Capcom's standpoint, because we know how much they've loved milking DLC in the past and, you know, dropping money for some of this stuff. You can either buy them in the Season Pass and get them outright, and the Season Pass is $30 by itself, if I'm not mistaken. If you go that route, each character does get an exclusive costume. If you don't want to spend the money, of course, you can earn them through the fight money that you get in the game. And that's, of course, by completing various in-game challenges, possibly winning ranked fights, doing tutorials, stuff like that. So you can earn in-game currency to buy these new fighters, although it may take a lot just to buy one of them. If you're still on the fence or you don't want the Season Pass, like you don't like any of the fighters, let's say you just wanted to buy one, then they are also doing a microtransaction system to where you can buy Zenny, which is your currency exchange. So pretty much you pay real world money to get in-game currency to buy just specific characters. So like an example for the price point would be $1 gets you 100 Zenny, whereas $5 gets you 550 Zenny because it gives you a 50 Zenny bonus, and so on and so forth. So as far as the video goes, that's going to do it for me. I just wanted to touch up on the fact that the 6 fighters that were leaked are confirmed. And like I said, for Guile, I'm probably the most excited. Alongside with Alex and Urien, I'm going to have a blast with those guys. I will give Balrog, Ibuki, and Juri some time to see how they play, how they look, all that type of stuff. But if you can, like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you'd like to see on the channel in the future. And as always, thank you very much for watching. My name is Berial, and I'll catch you guys next time. Take it easy.